fuck.
Tasteless, you
think
do
that they're
realize
just their use is just to brag about it online, to know how much you know about a particular subject, you idiot.
Tasteless. Do nihilists value things? Tasteless.
I don't think.
Do nihilists have believe in objective value?
Can you just explain what you mean to him rather than going through a tangent?
Nihilists don't have objective. So nihilists, absurdists especially, absurdists really don't care about making their lives better, right? Absurdists believe that life is just absurd, and in trying to make any value,
absurd.
Is even laughable, right? That you shouldn't even try. Okay, they're not trying to make their lives better. They just come to this realization and accept it. That's what makes them absurdists. They don't think that there's anything that could make life better, right? Life is absurd. It's bad. Okay? This idea that they believe this so they can make better predictions about their lives and live a better life is bullshit. If you knew anything about nihilism, anything about absurdism, you'd know this, right? And this isn't a big deal for you. It shouldn't be, Tasteless. You could just go back on that part of the definition. Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe it's not to make their life better. It's just to better make predictions about the world, right? Then I'd have less to argue with. But instead, you want to try to shoot me into a corner here by defining absurdism.
Seth, I am sorry. Every fucking philosophy has utility to them. Even some sort of utility. That's the idea, dude. This is why these people were contemplating life in order to understand life and to have some utility and use that thing to better themselves or to have a better grasp of understanding reality. Eventually, this utilitarian approach to knowledge is what matters. It is not knowing just because of knowing. It is what you can do with your knowledge, dude. And these people understood something about life, and they are trying to communicate their knowledge for others to understand the same perspective they had, because they figured that they could bring something to the table whenever they were contemplating life, dude, and the things about life that we try to understand, Seth. This is what philosophy is. This is the main point of philosophy. This is why you have tools for you to get better approaches. And you have basically those are standpoints of perspective about life, assumptions, all the things we try to make sense out of reality, Seth. And there are different types of approaches with different types of utilities to them, with different types of conclusions out of them. Okay, this is what it is. You stupid fuck.
Look,
yes.
I've said what I need to say to Tasteless. Hopefully, he's learned from what I've said.
You dishonest piece of shit.
Tasteless, I'm not done, Tasteless. So I'm going to address the room for my the little button on this and my interaction with Tasteless today. Tasteless's definition of philosophy involved making one's life better. I've given him two well-known, well-established philosophies in the 20th century that very actively do not try to make one's life better. And his response was gobbledygook. And I'm just going to close my response to Tasteless with that.
I think he responded with saying you use those or the teachings within those philosophies to improve your life.
Yeah, but you don't.
Hey, Tasteless, do you have a job?
Can just take the teachings from them.
Tasteless, do you have a job? Like, do you earn a paycheck and pay taxes?
That's irrelevant.
No, it's not relevant to the point I'm going to
make. It is irrelevant.
Do you have a job?
And I'm not going to duck myself, nigga.
I dropped.
Do you have a job?
About who won between Seth and
Yes. I am a donkey rider.
You're a donkey rider. What the fuck does that even mean?
Well, you should find out.
He hauls ass.
So do you get a paycheck? Do you pay taxes to the Mexican government? Or wherever it is that you live?
He's not from Mexico. He's from
No, I steal my taxes. Why?
Because you're talking about utility, but if you don't have an actual job, what's the utility in being here day in and day out arguing with people and you're not bettering yourself? Just go get a job and then you can better yourself.
You wrecked me, dude. Oh, that followed. That was a good one, Kevin.
I mean, you're talking about utility. What's the utility in spending all day long in a Discord chat, talking to people when you could just be, I don't know, doing work and being a productive member of society?
Yes, Kathleen, you made it clear that you're better than us because you basically don't care about being here while being here, and basically you don't care. To you, plants are better than us, and that you have a job, finger in your anus to people,
now you're just
and that you are a very devoted Christian.
Now you're just deflecting.
Interesting philosophy.
Now you're just deflecting. Now you're just deflecting.
Very interesting
now
philosophy.
You're just deflecting.
And intellectual positions. No, you are deflected. The whole point was a deflection. The whole point was a deflection, Captain. I'm sorry.
If you are talking about utility, explain to me the utility of not being a productive member of society. Where's the utility in that?
Where's the utility? 100% irrelevant. What does it? Wait, tell me what?
It's not
why
because you said philosophy.
No, why is that relevant? Why is that relevant?
Because you
Let's say I'm a useless piece of shit.
So you don't
Kathleen,
want to know
how
why.
does that change the fact that philosophy is what it is? No.
Do you?
No. Let's grant. I am. Hey, Kathleen, let's grant.
Because if you wanted to know why, you would just, using one of your catchphrases.
Let's grant.
And listen to what I have to say, because you made the claim.
Don't want me to answer.
You made the claim that philosophy is supposed to improve your life and it's supposed to create some kind of utility, and yet you claim to know philosophy, and yet it doesn't seem that you are putting that philosophy into any kind of utility. You're not being a productive member of society, so you have no utility. So couldn't we just say that you're a non-functional part of society and just get rid of you?
Okay, so let's grant I am a worthless piece of shit. Okay, how does that? No. How does that negate the fact that philosophy is meant to be utilitarian? That philosophy has a root and has a fucking goal, which is to explain reality in best ways so we can understand and make better predictions and better our interactions with reality. How does me being a fucking piece of shit change that fact? Kathleen?
Yeah, so explain to me the utility of not having a job.
No. It is irrelevant. Hey, answer the question.
It's not irrelevant.
It is irrelevant. It is irrelevant. I am a huge piece of shit. I am a huge piece of shit.
I don't have to answer the question.
How does that negate what philosophy is?
Save that in quotes. I'm glad Tasteless finally admitted that. I can't believe it took him this long.
Yeah, I don't have to answer your...
Talking about confirmation bias, huh?
Shut up, jackass. I know exactly what it was. Someone quoted, please.
Yeah, confirmation bias at its finest. Yes, if you want to be dishonest, listen. Wait. Declan, if you want to be dishonest and use that quote to prove your confirmation bias, that's fine, man. If you're happy like that, this exhibits your technique of how you reach your conclusions. That's fine.
Yes, I want to be dishonest with you from now on.
That's fine. Kathleen, go on. You were saying about you demonstrating how me being a piece of shit actually describes that philosophy is based or its intention is about utility and the root is about.
No. Once again, you're misunderstanding. Once again, you're misunderstanding. I am using your worldview. You said that if someone understands philosophy, it is to improve their life and give them utility so that they can better predict things and have a better life. And yet you are sitting here claiming to know philosophy.
You are assuming that money is my fucking god. Unlike you, Kathleen, I don't think money is the most important issue, Kathleen. So I'm sorry, Kathleen. You seem to assume that utility must end in money.
Mexican nigger.
Exactly what you're. But you're suggesting, you fucking Jew. You fucking Jew.
Let's not get racist here, man. Let's keep it PG-13, boys.
Holy fucking shit, Kathleen. You just fucked yourself in the ass, as you do in your webcam.
If you enjoy watching me fuck my ass, that's your thing, right? Just make sure you pay for it, right? But then again, you couldn't because you don't have a job, so you have no utility.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, your claim to what your
I feel like Beetlejuice and High Pitch Eric are fighting.
Are you done, Kathleen? That was it.
I'm not done. I'm not done because you still haven't answered the first question.
Continue.
You still haven't answered. You haven't answered
Continue.
the first question.
What was the question? I'm sorry. Just what was the question?
The question is by your own logic, philosophy is there to improve your life and to create a utility.
Yes.
And yet you are not being. You have no utility. So if you have no utility,
in what sense? In money sense?
Under your definition, you have no utility because it's obvious that you have no ability.
So what is the question?
Even because you say you claim to know all these philosophies and understand them, and yet it's obvious that you don't understand these philosophies. So where is your utility?
Okay, great.
Is utility
let me address the question. Now, Kathleen, you seem to under the assumption that the only utility possible out there is money, don't you?
No, I said being a productive member of society.
You asked me about my taxes, didn't you?
No, yeah, being a productive member of society.
My salary, didn't you?
I asked you if you had a job.
Kathleen, when you act like a degenerate on the internet, right? That's fucking productive, isn't it?
Yes, taxes, because it pays money.
The overall stress in the world.
So, Kathleen, is the only utility money? No, Kathleen, is the only utility money?
Utility would be being a productive member of society.
Oh, definitionally. So you cannot be useful if you're not a productive member of society. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Unless it is referred to being a productive member of society, then you cannot determine something to be useful.
Under your logical definition of what philosophy is, you have no utility. Even though
really?
You claim to have the ability to understand
because
how
you
to
think
have
utility. Because you claim utility is money. Yes.
No, I claim utility as being a productive, functional member of society.
Well, that's your claim, right? That's your claim.
It's obvious that the only real function that you have for society is to come into this chat room every day and get, wrecked by various people.
No, I'm sorry, Kathleen. Let me prove you wrong. So utility can have many forms. And whenever we're talking about philosophy, we're talking about understanding life. We're talking about understanding what things are, who we are, who we are, Kathleen. You know what I'm saying? These things are important.
Has nothing to do with.
I'm glad Kathleen is having this discussion.
What is life and how we interact with life in order for us to have a better understanding and better results. So, whenever you are able, to hold or to know a particular standpoint that actually brings you utility in such forms as 1, understanding, 2, happiness, 3, make sense out of the world, 4, meaning, 5, motivation, 6, a betterment, like you said, with your surroundings, meaning your community and the people you engage with. All of those, Kathleen, are utility, phases of utility. Money is not the only utility, even if you think so.
That's a straw man.
I understand that you think so, but it is not the only one.
Tasteless,
and
let me
being
ask you something.
A productive member of society,
Tasteless,
it is not the only
Tasteless, hold on a second.
utility. Okay.
Do you think that is your argument that you're presenting right now explicit?
Yes, of course.
Huh. So why isn't Kathleen? So you're saying that Kathleen isn't
trying.
You're saying that Kathleen is unable to understand an explicit argument?
No.
Oh, fuck. Wow.
Look, Tomer. Now you're trying to muddy the words, which is another fallacy. So shut the fuck up. Now,
Okay.
Kathleen, that's fallacy number 9. Number 9 now.
Tasteless.
Yes.
So what I did, right, is I decided I was going to operate the same way you do while you were talking with him. So I used Google real quick, right? And I looked up the definition of utility. And the definition of utility is the state of being useful, profitable, or beneficial. So how are you useful, profitable, or beneficial to society?
Kathleen,
Are
you just
you
fuck
any of
yourself
those
in the
things?
ass.
Are
Yes,
you any of
you
those
just-
three things? Because this is
Listen,
how
listen.
you operate,
You
right?
just
You go to
fuck yourself in
Google.
the ass.
You go to Google and you look this up. One, how are you useful to anyone? You've never proven that you're useful
This
to
is so
anyone.
funny.
You don't have a job, so you're not profitable, and I can't
Finish.
see how you benefit society in any way. So you
Are you
have no
done?
utility based on the way that you operate, which is to go to Google and look up a definition of a word.
Are you done? Are
Yeah,
you
I
done?
mean, I'm just
Okay, great. Now, I am going to. You just fuck yourself in the ass again.
Kathleen, that was incredibly
You gotta need to
stupid.
stop fucking yourself in
So,
the ass.
so let me
Can-
get this
can
straight,
some-
Tasteless. You under
Summer,
your
let
view.
me answer this. Let me
Under
answer
your
this.
view.
So, Kathleen, you just fucked yourself in the ass, and let me tell you why.
Someone mute?
Because
Can someone mute him for a
definitions
second?
are not.
Can you mute Tasteless really
What?
quick, someone? Under Tasteless's view, he would be having more luck in getting Kathleen to understand his point if he were less explicit. This is
I went to Google, which is what you do, because I felt like if you do it, I could do it, right? And I just asked
That's
Google
a
what
lie.
utility is.
Well, that's a lie.
So because if you could do it, why can't anyone else do it?
That's a lie, Kathleen. And now you're being dishonest, intellectually
it's not a
dishonest,
lie.
and dishonest as fuck.
We've
ahead,
heard
continue.
you plagiarize. We've heard you plagiarize Google twice today,
Oh,
mate.
really? Did I?
Yes, you did.
Oh, so what I said actually matched what Google said. Whoa!
That's irrelevant.
Whoa! That means I knew. Whoa! So you're dishonest as fuck. Go ahead, Kathleen. Continue.
When the fuck will this tasteless fucking sniveling saga end? Holy shit.
Soon as
Day
you
after day.
I'll see how
It never
Tasteless plagiarized.
Jovan, I'm gonna punch you right in your fucking cocksucker. Jesus.
That's a blatant lie.
Earlier today, someone asked Tasteless to give a definition of something,
Kathleen, nice.
and
But
he said,
might-
and he just obfuscated for about 2 minutes till he could look up the definition on Google, and then he literally read word for word what the definition on Google was,
That's
and then said that
protection.
that's not what he was doing. And when we went back and looked at the definition, it was like, oh, look, that is literally what Tasteless just said. So I figured if that's what his MO is, just to go Google something, why can't I do it? So I asked him what utility was. He gave this meandering definition. So I just went to Google. Google, what is utility? And Google said that utility is to be beneficial, profitable, or useful.
Krill, can you once and for all just crush Tasteless? Just put all of our misery to an end?
Please, fuck.
Tasteless got crushed by Kathleen, and it hit like a Mack truck because he just spent 6 hours yesterday saying how Kathleen is very smart.
Oh,
Tasteless is like flubber. You can just pound him down and like turn him into fucking mush, and then he slowly.
Can I just have like an honest assessment of Tasteless? Tasteless, I don't even understand because like it seems like every position you hold is so like weird and contradictory and hard to hold on to. It doesn't seem like you have any consistent belief because.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I've come in here and you just kind of, it seems like you just espouse like kind of whatever, right? Whatever suits you at the moment. It seems like you just argue to argue, right?
Oh shit.
I honestly think that's accurate. I think that's what you do, Tasteless.
Get him, Zycron.
Jesus.
Look, Tasteless only
Well, that's fair enough, Cyclone. You have
Tasteless, I will not be talked over. Shut
you are a
up.
very
Let me
intelligent
solve this
individual.
for you. The only point in Tasteless being here is to derail conversations, because when he's not just equivocating on what a definition is because it doesn't suit his fancy, he's trying to talk over people to rudely interrupt and stop conversation. It feels like anytime he's in a room, he brings any current conversation to a screeching halt because he feels like it. All right, Tasteless. Go.
I like you, Tasteless.
Oh, thank you. Cyclone, I appreciate your opinion, dude. Yes,
I just want you to take down. Okay, every day I want you to do this, Tasteless. I want you to do this for me, Tasteless. I want you to come in here, okay? And every time you get into an argument, I want you to write down your position, okay? And I really want you to, okay? Just a synopsis. It doesn't have to be anything too in depth, right? Write down your position on something, okay? And I want you to go down the list, and I want you to just, take your smartphone out if you have one, and send the pictures in the main chat, right? Or send them to me in DMs. And I just want to overlook them and see if they contradict, because I'm almost certain that they contradict. I'm almost certain because you can espouse this much in a chat and just not have some overlap.
Zycron, shut your mouth, you fucking vegan bitch boy.
No, listen, Zycron. I can see, and you know what? You are, to me, in my opinion, you're a very honest individual. And if you're that, I can understand your opinion being like that, dude. And yeah, eventually you will see. I mean, of course, I know that I'm not
somebody that's shitting on you. Zycron,
no, because Zycron is honest. I mean, his criticism is coming from an honest place.
Just give me and
I know how he can see that.
Look, Zycron, I want you to tell me what valuable inference have you ever made on this server? I'm actually really curious.
What valuable inference have I made on this server?
All I've ever seen you do is bitch and moan.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you mean by valuable, right? Let's get our definitions down. What is valuable?
Oh, come on! Don't be
utilitarian. Is it adding?
This is like when Jordan Peters.
No, I'm serious. Because if your definition of of adding something to conversation, whatever it may be, right? Whatever your definition is here, I want to know what it is because I want to know. I want to give you an answer.
What clever inference have you ever made on this server?
Clever inference I ever made on this server. Wow. I would say I cited some studies, so there's that. That happens very little on the server.
Citing a study
not an inference.
Are you a fucking
you just saying that as a knock against you, by the way.
Yeah. So just any old inference I've made.
What is an inference? Actually, define it for me. What's an inference?
Sure.
That's what she said.
It's a.
When you said sure, are you looking it up on Google now?
I want him to define it.
Hell yeah, I am.
Inference would be what I said.
Yeah, he's looking it up on Google.
Jim, are you impotent?
No, sir. Are you?
Zycron, I mean, that Google search is taking a bit longer.
Advice there.
Oh yeah, I'm making a Google search. A conclusion reached on the basis of evidence.
So you don't know.
For you to say without looking at Google, jackass.
Oh my God, you're an idiot.
Oh, I don't know some terms, so I'm an idiot.
Well, it kind of
really logically follow.
It leads people to believe what I was saying,
you explain
right?
to me, just like, can you write up like a logic chart for me real quick of how, because I don't know a definition.
No, just the fact that you can't even define what an inference is kind of leads people to believe that what I'm saying is true, right? That you don't make reasonable inferences.
You didn't even have to.
Rats and white knight for somebody else.
Hold on.
Oh my God, rats and white knight for somebody else.
Goddamn,
now we're making reasonable inferences. Now we've gone up a notch, haven't we?
It's a fallacy. Hold on, let me Google it, figure out which one it is.
Okay, so the position here, right, is because I don't know the specific terminology used, or I don't know it off the back of my...
All you had to do was give a general overview of what you think an inference was, but instead you looked on Google.
Yeah. Well, that could have been because of the
and before that
could have been because I wanted to be thorough. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm just stupid, right?
And when I asked you to give me an example of an inference, right, why did you not give me one?
Because basically you wanted insight, right? Or whatever I added to the server, or whatever I added to a discussion, really, is what you're asking.
I just asked you for a clever inference.
Okay. Right? Well, I would say certainly based on the definition, I can't really think of a time that I've done that.
Okay, so why are you shitting on Tasteless or whoever you were for not doing that when you don't?
I wasn't actually necessarily shitting on Tasteless for his inferences, right? And if you had actually listened, you probably would have known that, right?
You said that his thoughts weren't coherent, right? Well, that's true.
Yeah, so that means inference, right? So when I'm saying his thoughts aren't coherent, that may mean that he's not, explaining it in a way that I understand it, is what I meant, right? But even beyond that, the prevalent criticism that I had of him, right, which is that he seems to espouse these beliefs, and the ways in which he defends them, it seems really indefensible because I don't think he deploys these reasonings in every single conversation.
To write down his positions and that they contradict each other. What's the alleged contradiction in his positions?
Yeah, no. I just explained that though, right? Is I couldn't point out like a specific contradiction. It's just that these specific beliefs that he's espousing are really hard to uphold in every conversation.
Well, that's what incoherent is. If something's incoherent, there's a contradiction in it.
Yeah, totally. And I wasn't making the claim.
Do you want to recant your claim about Tasteless then?
I didn't say he was being directly contradictory, right?
Well, you said he was incoherent, right? It's implied.
No, you said incoherent.
Yeah. It could be implied depending on the definition I use, right?
You said incoherent.
If it was written down to him, that's why he asked to have them written down. But
yeah, because I was just having honest inquiry. I was genuinely just curious to see if he had written down his positions, whether or not they'd contradict, because it was a genuine curiosity that I had, right? It's just
why did you think that he might be likely to have positions that contradict?
Yeah, and I just answered that if you had actually listened, right? So what I said is that his positions that he espoused, right, seem really hard to uphold in every single conversation, these standards that he holds to himself. So this is why I wanted him to write them down to see if they did contradict. Now, for all I know, right, if he honestly and earnestly wrote them all down, maybe he does apply these consistently, right? And if that's the case, then I'm fine with it.
Can you be specific?
Give us an example.